Is Fed Jerome Powell going to pump the price of Bitcoin back above this very important level, and could we see a pump all the way back up to the $28,000 level? Because yes, US inflation eased to 4% in May as key Fed decision looms. So yes, in round about 6 hours we're going to expect the next FOMC meeting. So what are we going to see? Are we going to see a skip from the rate hikes, or are we actually going to see a rate hike? We're going to look at this very important data to find out what we could expect, but we're also going to look at the DXY, because yes, if we're going to see that the DXY will form a lower high and that we're going to see a dump towards the downside, we could expect that Bitcoin will finally see a massive push towards the upside, and in combination with the Fed decision, we could expect a massive pump reaching our price targets of $28,000 level. But we're also going to look at this court case from Binance and also some major new FUD from CZ. So if you want to find out more, watch the video until the end, smash up the like button and subscribe, and most importantly activate the bell so that you always stay up to date. US inflation eased to 4% in May, and yes, that's why we saw a small pump yesterday in the overall crypto markets. But guys, what is going to be really important is the FOMC decision, and we're going to look at these data, and that is going to be really important for the overall markets, because yes, we can see some comments from the committee like Jerome Powell can afford to look at data and ongoing outlook. Skipping would allow time to assess data. We are close to the point where we can hold rates. Fed may be at a near point it can pause rate hikes. So yes, we can see that the majority in the committee has voted for a skip in rate hikes. And this would of course be overall bullish for the overall markets, because this would mean that risk on assets will see a pump towards the upside. But if we're going to see a rate hike, like some of the committees are also commenting that yes, April CPI and jobs report have not provided consistent evidence that inflation is coming down. So yes, this is going to be the most important factor from today. What we could expect from the FOMC meeting: the dollar currency index licks US inflation inflicted wounds at 3 weeks low above 103 on Fed day. US dollar index grinds near to the lowest levels in 3 weeks after snapping 2-day winning streak. And if we go over to the charts from the DXY, we can see that yes, these 2 days winning streak were exactly in these areas where the price movement saw this bounce at the levels of 103, where everybody thought yes, we're going to see a higher high and that we're going to see the DXY go even higher. But no, we could see that the DXY broke this very important levels, and at the moment we are at this very critical level where we can see we had some resistance which now will turn into support. So if we're going to see a bullish outcome from the Federal Reserve, which means that we're either going to see quantitative easing in compared to quantitative tightening, we could expect that the dollar currency index will go even lower. And this would mean that yes, Bitcoin will turn around and that we could expect this pump all the way back up above this very important resistance that we have been facing round about the $26,900 level. And if we're going to break these levels, we could expect that yes, we're going to break out from this big descending channel that we have been in, and that we could expect a higher price movement for Bitcoin. But let's go back over to the news to find out what we could expect from Binance, because yes, we're also getting some positive news from this whole court case. US judge rebuffs SEC request for Binance US assets being frozen. So yes, this is actually quite good. The federal judge ordered the Security and Exchange Commission and Binance lawyers to keep negotiating about limits of the company reporting back to her by Thursday. So we can see that yes, Binance US is still operating and these funds have actually not been frozen. So that is a positive note. But then we can also see Binance jumping out denies selling Bitcoin and BNB. And we can see that on crypto Twitter was a lot of FUD. Binance and CZ have been selling spot Bitcoin at an alarming rate to defend the BNB 220 liquidation waterfall. As spot Bitcoin is sold off, BNB is purchased, which defends the 220 liquidation but also caps the upside potential for Bitcoin. So yes, we could see a lot of FUD. So over on Twitter we can see that CZ posted, "4. Binance have not sold Bitcoin or BNB. We even still have a bag of FTT. It is amazing they can know exactly who sold based on just the price chart involving millions of traders." FUD. So what does actually 4 mean? On the 2nd of January, CZ posted, "We'll try to keep 2023 simple. Spend more time on less things. Do's and don'ts. First, education, compliance, products and service. And 4, ignore FUD, fake news, attacks, etc." So yes, he posted 4, and this means ignore the FUD, fake news and all these major attacks, and we can see that all these assets haven't been frozen, and that is actually quite good, because this judge is also going to run the whole court case, and that is actually quite bullish, that actually after all these allegations Binance is still running. But let's go away from all this FUD and let's look at the price chart of Bitcoin. But before we're going to start on the weekly chart for Bitcoin, guys, I really appreciate each subscriber and I really appreciate your support. This really motivates me to do even more content, and we're going to look at the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, we can see, yes, the price movement of Bitcoin is underneath the 200 moving average, which is quite concerning because, yes, if we're going to stay underneath the 200 moving average, we could expect that we're going to see a longer consolidation. But if we're going to get this bullish news, yes, we could expect that we're going to come back above the $26,500 level, which is exactly the level that Bitcoin has to close above with a weekly candle to say that yes, we're going to see a higher price movement and that we're going to once again bounce off from the 200 moving average. But let's go on the lower time frames on the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin to find out what we could expect in the immediate short term. So on the 4-hour chart, we can see that the price movement stayed underneath this downward sloping trend, and we saw this fake out towards the upside after we got the positive CPI report. So yes, today is going to be very important and we could expect some major volatility. I would even expect that the price movement is going to come all the way back down and that we're going to see a fake out towards the downside, and that the price movement will turn around from a positive FOMC decision, and that we're going to see the price movement come all the way back up to the very important resistance that we can see round about the $27,190. So this is really going to be important, and I wouldn't trade any of these assets in these areas because definitely we're going to see a major volatility in the markets, and we could also see that the price movement will pump from this positive expectations from the FOMC meeting, and that we're going to turn around from a hawkish behavior from the Fed and come all the way back down. So yes, it is really going to be important what the outcome is from the FOMC meeting. And guys, if you want to find out more, make sure to smash up the like button and subscribe and activate the bell so that you always get notified when I upload a new video. And if you always want to stay up to date, make sure to be in my free Telegram group. And guys, be for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.